The 23 black billionaires featured on Forbes' World's Billionaires list are worth a combined $96 billion.
They say money talks, but in America, sometimes it sings gospel, spits bars, or dunks from the free throw line. Welcome to the real roll call of Black excellence. The 15 richest African-American families of 2025. Because while most of us are out here budgeting groceries, these families are out here buying grocery chains. Now, people love to say money isn't everything. True, but neither is oxygen, and nobody's volunteering to breathe less. So buckle up. We're counting down the dynasties who turned ambition into legacy, checks into empires, and setbacks into stock options. Number 15. A man so big, his shadow has its own zip code. Shaquille O'Neal and the O'Neal family, worth an estimated $292 million. Shaq didn't just dominate basketball, he turned being 7 feet 1 inch into a business strategy. When he wasn't breaking backboards, he was breaking barriers in boardrooms. He invested early in Apple, Google, and Krispy Kreme. Because who doesn't love dividends and donuts? He owns car washes, gyms, restaurants, and even a few Papa John's franchises. Yes, Shaq literally bought the pizza company after roasting it. That's called turning shade into shares. With real estate plays, endorsement deals, and smart equity moves, the O'Neal family has mastered the art of keeping their money as tall as their patriarch. But from the king of the court to the queen of high notes, our next family turned holiday spirit into generational wealth. At number 14, the Carey family, estimated at $340 million. Mariah Carey doesn't just celebrate Christmas, she owns it. Every December, her bank account defrosts. Faster than All I Want for Christmas Is You climbs the charts. The royalties from that single alone could probably pay off half your student loans, or at least your Spotify subscription. With 5 Grammy Awards, world tours, and decades of hit records, Mariah transformed her voice into an economic engine. Between music, branding, and licensing deals, the Carey family has built a glittering empire powered by vocal cords and unmatched confidence. Morale of the story: while the rest of us are waiting for Christmas bonuses, Mariah is the Christmas bonus. But speaking of royalties, let's talk about Hollywood royalty. Coming in at number 13, the Smith family, sitting at roughly $350 million. Will Smith went from rapping about parents who just don't understand to becoming the Hollywood parent who everyone tries to understand. He conquered music, TV, and film, then built Westbrook Inc., a production company behind hits like Cobra Kai and King Richard. Add in Jada's Red Table Talk, Jaden's fashion line and eco-water brand, and Willow's chart-topping music career, and you've got an empire running on creativity, chaos, and cash flow. The Smiths are proof that family drama, when monetized properly, becomes content. Every time they trend, they cash in. The Fresh Prince became the franchise king. But hold that thought, because the next family didn't just star in television, they built the network. Number 12, the Johnson family, founded by Robert L. Johnson, net worth around $550 million. This man didn't just make history, he broadcasted it. As the founder of BET, he turned representation into revenue long before black media became a boardroom topic. When Viacom came calling in 2001, they dropped a $3 billion deal to acquire the network, making Johnson the first black billionaire in American history. Since then, he's diversified like a finance textbook: real estate, hotels, private equity, and ventures across Africa. He even launched a $30 million fund to support Liberian entrepreneurs. The man went from cable TV to global capitalism. When people say black excellence on screen, Robert Johnson made sure it aired in high definition. And we're just getting started. Because up next, another Johnson family that took the word magic from the basketball court to the billion-dollar boardroom. At number 11, Meet the other Johnsons, not Robert from BET, but Magic Johnson's family, with a fortune estimated north of $620 million. Irvin Magic Johnson isn't just a sports legend, he's the gold standard of post-retirement reinvention. When most athletes fade into commentary, Magic went full capitalist. From owning Starbucks franchises to buying stakes in the Los Angeles Dodgers, Washington Commanders, and even the WNBA's Los Angeles Sparks, Magic turned his playbook into a portfolio. And let's not forget, this man made being HIV positive a story of empowerment and empire building. His Magic Johnson Enterprises has investments in everything, from insurance to media to food. Basically, if your city has a TGI Fridays and a Starbucks next to each other, Magic's probably getting paid from both. He's proof that even when the game ends, the hustle doesn't. But from one legend's legacy to another, the next family didn't just make beats, they made billions out of bass lines. Number 10, the Young family, better known as the Empire of Dr. Dre, estimated at $800 million. Dre didn't just produce rap albums, he produced generational wealth. The man co-founded Beats by Dre, sold it to Apple for $3.4 billion, and still found time to redefine hip-hop with Aftermath Entertainment. That's where he launched careers like Eminem, 50 Cent, and Kendrick Lamar, each one a walking, talking stock option. His production style literally changed the sound of the West Coast. Slow, heavy, hypnotic beats that made the world nod in rhythm, and investors nod in approval. Add in real estate, royalties, and brand equity, and Dre's money moves louder than his bass lines. He once said, "I just want to make dope music." Yeah, and apparently, dope bank statements too. But speaking of dominance, let's talk about a man who's been compared to Michael Jordan so often. He probably has GOAT engraved on his toothbrush. At number 9, the James family, worth over $1 billion. LeBron James, the man, the myth, the brand. He's the first active NBA player to hit billionaire status, and not just from shooting hoops. This guy turned his name into a business empire, spanning sports, media, and beyond. Through his company, Spring Hill Entertainment, LeBron's producing shows, documentaries, and even remakes, Space Jam, anyone. He's also part owner of the Fenway Sports Group, which owns the Boston Red Sox, Liverpool FC, and the Pittsburgh Penguins. The man owns more teams than some billionaires own ties. LeBron also built a $100 million school for underprivileged kids, proving that being the king isn't just about crowns, it's about community. His family's net worth keeps climbing faster than his career points. And honestly, it's well-deserved. But if basketball money sounds impressive, wait till we swing a golf club into billionaire territory. Number 8, the Woods family, with an estimated $1.1 billion. Tiger Woods doesn't just play golf, he is golf. The man turned a quiet country club sport into global primetime television. Over 80 PGA Tour wins, 15 major championships, and endorsement deals that made more money than most golf courses generate in a year. From Nike to Rolex to Bridgestone, Tiger's brand power is unmatched. Even after scandals, surgeries, and comebacks that could fill 3 Netflix series, Woods remains an unstoppable cash machine. He recently launched TMRW Sports, a tech-forward golf league backed by fellow GOATs like Serena Williams and Justin Timberlake. That's the thing about Tiger. Even when he's not on the green, he's still scoring. The Woods family has turned precision and patience into profit and power. Now, if you think we're done with billionaires, think again, because the next family wrote, directed, and starred in their own rise to wealth. Number 7. The Perry family, estimated net worth just over $1 billion. Tyler Perry didn't just break into Hollywood, he built his own Hollywood from scratch. Literally. While studios were busy rejecting him, he went and bought a 330-acre army base in Atlanta and turned it into Tyler Perry Studios, a billion-dollar production kingdom with its own White House replica. Because why ask for permission when you can just build your own Oval Office? He created the iconic Medea character, turned stage plays into box office gold, and then made enough to buy BET Plus shares and multiple private jets. Perry is the walking definition of started from the church basement, now we here. His formula is simple. Write your own stories, own your own rights, and keep your own receipts. With a library of hundreds of episodes, films, and franchises, Perry didn't just make content, he made equity. And when Forbes named him a billionaire, his response was peak Tyler Perry. It's all God's grace. Translation: it's all profit margin too. And speaking of grace, the next family is literally worshipped in sneaker culture. At number 6, the Jordan family, sitting on an estimated $1.7 billion. Michael Jordan didn't just change basketball, he changed branding itself. Air Jordans weren't shoes. They were a lifestyle, a religion, a global economy. Released in 1984, the Nike Air Jordan line now rakes in over $5 billion annually, and his airness still collects a royalty check of around 5%. He made more in retirement than he ever did playing, turning "hang up the jersey" into "hang up the phone, I'm rich." Add in his former ownership of the Charlotte Hornets, which he sold for a cool $3 billion valuation, NASCAR team 23, iRacing, and sponsorships that never die. The Jordan family is proof that legends never really retire, they just diversify. And yet for every Jordan, there's a Carter, because the next family built an empire out of music, marriage, and mogul moves. Number 5, the Carter family, Beyoncé and Jay-Z, estimated net worth $1.75 billion. Together, they're basically the Federal Reserve of hip-hop. Jay-Z built Roc Nation, Armand de Brignac Champagne, and Tidal, while Beyoncé turned her artistry into a billion-dollar brand through Ivy Park, global tours, and creative ownership that changed the industry forever. When they released their joint album, Everything Is Love, it wasn't just music. It was a press release for financial dominance. Their combined ventures stretch across liquor, streaming, fashion, and film. They don't follow trends, they auction them. Jay-Z once said, "I'm not a businessman, I'm a businessman." And judging by their Forbes numbers, he wasn't lying. Meanwhile, Beyoncé is so influential that one Instagram post can spike a company's stock. The Carters redefined what a power couple looks like: equal parts love, leverage, and limited liability companies. But as flashy as that sounds, the next family's wealth wasn't built on concerts or sneakers. It was engineered in pure corporate silence. Number 4, the West family, with an estimated $2 billion. And yes, we're talking Kanye West. Love him or side-eye him, the man turned ego into enterprise. Yeezy wasn't just a shoe, it was a cultural movement that made him a billionaire, with annual sales hitting over $1 billion at peak. His partnership with Adidas and later Gap turned him from rapper to retail powerhouse. At one point, Kanye's net worth was higher than Jay-Z's, proof that insanity and innovation sometimes share the same studio. And while controversies dented his partnerships, they couldn't erase his empire. Music rights, real estate, design, and intellectual property that still earn massive residuals. The West family has literally lived the blueprint of creative capitalism, where personal branding is the product. But hold up. Before we reach the final 3, it's time to step away from beats, lights, and sneakers. Because the next fortunes weren't made on red carpets. They were made in boardrooms and billion-dollar data centers. Cracking the top 3 is a woman who didn't just host talk shows. She built an empire out of conversation. The Winfrey family, estimated net worth $2.5 billion. Oprah Winfrey, the only person who can give away cars and still make money doing it. She went from Mississippi poverty to media royalty, talk show queen, producer, actress, and philanthropist. The Oprah Winfrey Show didn't just dominate daytime TV, it reshaped it, blending authenticity with empire building. She owns Harpo Productions, a stake in Weight Watchers, and her very own television network, OWN. Fitting name, because that's exactly what she does, owns. For decades, Oprah's brand has stood on emotional intelligence and economic mastery. She doesn't just sell products, she sells trust. And trust, apparently, has a billion-dollar valuation. Her investments, book club and brand deals continue to generate revenue even in retirement. Oprah didn't chase trends. She made the world trend around her. But from media magic to tech mastery, the next family on our list turned computer codes into cash codes. At number 2, the Stewart family, worth an estimated $6 billion. David Stewart isn't a household name, and that's exactly how he likes it. Quiet, methodical, brilliant, he built worldwide technology, one of America's largest private companies, serving giants like Cisco, Dell, and Verizon. While others were chasing fame, he was engineering fortune. Stewart started in sales, faced racial discrimination that would have broken most people, and used it as fuel to create a technology powerhouse. Today, WWT pulls in over $17 billion in revenue annually. And he's still 100% self-made. No acting, no albums, no courtside endorsements. Just discipline, leadership, and execution. David Stewart proved that Black excellence isn't confined to entertainment. It thrives in enterprise. The man doesn't need the spotlight because billionaires don't need stage lights when the bank statement glows that bright. But as powerful as that is, one family still sits higher on the throne, not just rich, but revolutionary. Number 1, the Smith family, and no, not Will and Jada. We're talking about Robert F. Smith, the quiet titan of Wall Street and the richest black man in America, with an estimated $8 billion fortune in 2025. Robert Smith is the founder, chairman, and CEO of Vista Equity Partners, a private equity firm that invests exclusively in software companies. Translation: he buys businesses that print money in code. Since founding Vista in 2000, he's turned it into one of the most successful investment firms on earth, producing returns that make even Silicon Valley jealous. He's been called the invisible billionaire, because while everyone else was flexing jets and jewelry, Smith was out here buying data companies worth more than both combined. Vista's portfolio includes hundreds of firms that quietly run the digital backbone of global finance, healthcare, and security systems. And he's not just rich, he's redefining what wealth means. In 2019, he paid off the entire student loan debt of the Morehouse College graduating class, a $34 million gesture that stunned America. That's not philanthropy, that's legacy. Robert F. Smith turned spreadsheets into symphonies, algorithms into altruism, and private equity into public inspiration. The Smith family sits at the summit of Black American wealth. But their real wealth isn't just money, it's the model, ownership, innovation, and impact. So, there you have it, the 15 richest African-American families in the United States for 2025. From Shaq's slam dunks to Oprah's empire, from Tyler Perry's scripts to Robert Smith's spreadsheets. This list isn't just about dollars, it's about defiance. It's proof that no matter how stacked the system is, excellence finds a way to cash its own checks. And here's the thing, every single name on this list started somewhere ordinary. No silver spoons, just grit, talent, and persistence. The moral: the American dream might be under renovation, but these families are still living proof it's not foreclosed. If you enjoyed this countdown of wealth, wisdom, and wild success, make sure to hit that like button. Not because YouTube told you to, but because it tells the algorithm that Black excellence deserves prime time. Drop a comment on which of these families inspired you most, and don't forget to subscribe, because the next story might just be about who's next on the throne. Until then, stay sharp, stay ambitious, and remember, money can't buy happiness, but it sure makes the struggle look a lot more comfortable.